This conference will now be recorded.
So the traceability matrix in Jira. So I think Nasita joined in this last Sunday help session, and I explained that there, but still it's fine. I can explain this again. You didn't get that options to download that GoToMeeting application, Safri? I can hear you. You might be talking to me. Says something is going on here. Still loading. Okay, so it's loading. So the traceability matrix in Jira, you'll find that under reports. Once you go to this reports, you will see this traceability matrix here. So once you click on that, it will show you that it will ask you that which project you want to create the traceability matrix for. Just select that project, click on generate, and then it will show you something like this picture where it will give you the idea that which stories you have test cases for. For example, for the first one, I have a test case for this one. You see that this is a linked. This is a link. So this is the story and this is the test case. And this is the traceability matrix. You can see anything? You can see in from my screen, or you can see that this from Jira. Is this the one only suffering is facing that issue, or someone else also? Your mic is not working. I think I can make send you unmute request so you can unmute yourself. Okay, if possible, join the meeting again. I think at that point you will not have any issue if you rejoin that meeting. Okay. Okay. So other than that, do you have any question or any issue? No issue, no questions, which is a good sign. That's mean that you understood everything from the manual. And the reason I didn't share that the documents yet with you, with all of you, because I was expecting the homework from you first. Because if I send you that these documents, you might get this from these documents. You might just copy and paste. That I didn't want. That's why I didn't share that documents with you, but I will share it with you now, like in a couple of days. Okay.
Okay. Yes. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So go ahead and finish this, and then I'll tell you about the GoToMeeting download. Okay. Finish this first.
Okay. Okay, no problem.
Thanks.
Yeah, so that is the thing that I was talking about. So I will share the test plan document, the sample test plan document. I'll share your template for test case document. I'll share one test plan document, and I will share the slides that I have here. So I didn't. I was not sharing with you this document with you because if you use these documents, it's not like you are learning something. You might be just copy and pasting. So I don't know that I'll not be watchful every time like you are copying and pasting on. But I can see like from the homework submission that might be someone is copying pasting, but still if that person is understanding what he or she is doing, then I don't have any problem. But I will share this document. And this is the traceability matrix. You can see it now, right? Saprin?
Yes, it's fine now. Thank
Okay,
you.
so what you need to do, oh, you understood where you get it, how you will get this?
No,
Just,
but I think the recording is there. I can hear it again. That's fine. I'll just watch it again. Don't worry about it.
it's fine, it will take only a couple of seconds. So just
Okay.
go to this skill, go to this reports, and under the reports you will find traceability matrix. Click on this matrix and it will ask you that which project you want to make this traceability matrix for. Then this is the project. Click generate, then it will generate this kind of report. And this is the traceability matrix.
Okay, thanks. No problem. And also about the GoToMeeting thing, I think I installed it, but I mean, that's also okay. I might just join next Sunday session to get it fixed. That's fine. Okay. I mean, right now I'm joining the link that you sent me, so that's fine. Okay.
Okay. Okay, no problem. So you can also try to join this GoToMeeting. For everyone, whoever downloaded this GoToMeeting but not able to join this meeting with this application, they can just use this meeting ID also. They just need to open that GoToMeeting from their computer, and then they just need to insert this meeting ID. They have it in their email. I can also share this one. I can share the link. Okay, so I can share it here. Whatever you see in the after the join part, after the join slash, that is the meeting ID. So if you insert this meeting ID, you will be able to join this meeting. Okay, so we are done with this one. Let's start and let's learn something new. And one more important thing from now on, whatever we will do, it's basically interconnected to each and every session. So if you don't understand today's session and you don't like, you don't fix that, you don't like clear that topic, then it will be difficult for you to understand the next topic. So I will prefer if you like, if you have any confusion, if you have any question, try to clear that at the same time so that we will be in the same page. We all will be in the same page, okay? Okay, so let's start with this Eclipse. Now, I gave you a task to create this kind of lines, almost like I think 20 names and 20 numbers. And for numbers, it can be like inside this double quotation or without the double quotation, like this. And you will get the same result, except this zeros. Because whatever you keep that inside this double quotation, it will consider that, it will not consider it is as like a number. Now this line is not considered as a like number. This considered as like whatever you will give, it will print that same thing. It will not consider anything. Okay, but for in this case, it will consider this one as a number. And because we know that there is no value after the decimal point number for zeros, that's why it will skip all these things, right? So let's try to run this and see if it is working. You see that? So it's working as expected. Now with this exercise, you might got the idea how to type this thing, how to write at least the program, and after each and every line you have to use the semicolon. So these are the very basic thing you need to understand, and you will always do that, use that. Okay, now let's move forward to our very first topic in programming. Okay, Okay, before I start, you have to answer something.
Can I just ask one quick question?
You are going, so you have to.
Okay, so it's good now.
Yeah.
Okay, so the question is like, I completely understand like how to write these things on Eclipse board. So over here, like we started from system.out.print. So before 3-4 lines, we already typed which one like you just told us to do, and we did it. So these types of things also we do have to memorize.
Which things you need to memorize?
Like from the beginning of the conversation of our like how to download the Java, and after that we start typing over here package, public class, sample class.
These are the things that you will like. You will be frequently creating the classes. You will be frequently creating the packages, but the project will create only for one time, because you will be working in only one project. There is a high possibility, like 99% cases, people work on the one project. So in Eclipse, you will find only one project here.
Okay.
And secondly, the Java JDK you will download only for one time. Eclipse also you will download only for one time. So this is kind of like one-time setup. After that, you might create multiple packages. We'll see that why we need these packages, and you also might need to create multiple classes. So you will see that how to create these things. Okay.
Understand. Thank you.
No problem. Okay. So let's start. Let me get the page here. So this is a simple task, and you have to answer me in the chat box, and don't share your answer with all of you. Okay? Don't do that. Okay, so this is kind of like, yeah, paperback. This is plastic bag. This is a plastic container, and this is plastic and glass container. Okay. Now for this one, I will say 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now I want to keep this one mute. Say bread. This is for what else? Clothes. And that's it. Now you have to match these things, okay? And you have to give me the answer that what is your perspective, that what you think, like which these are the containers and these are the elements, these are the things that you have to keep. So now it's up to you that if you want to keep this milk in paper bag, that is up to you. You just need to give me the answer that which goes to which one. Paper bag. You got my question?
No.
It's kind of like a matrix thing, mix and match. Okay. So you have 4 containers, and I gave you 4 items. You have to keep these items in the container. You got it? No?
Yeah, I got it. But these things, is it possible from your end make it little bigger so that like
Okay, sorry.
be better?
Yep, I can do that. Mm, okay. So what you can do is there is some trick. So when you send you want to send a message uh, and you think that you need to type for multiple lines, let me try to do that. Okay. For this GoToMeeting, I don't think that it's working. No, for the GoToMeetings, it's not working. So try to do that in one single time. It will be better for me to understand your answer. Okay, so for this one, it doesn't work. GoToMeeting in GoToMeeting it doesn't work, but for other applications like Teams and Slack, so there are some other communication applications we have. In that case, you can use Shift and Enter, and it will give you extra. It will work as like Enter, like within that message you can write multiple lines. Here it's not working. In GoToMeeting it's not working, but you can try the other one. And I was thinking to show you one more trick in this Excel sheet. I'll show you that one. Okay, I'll show you after when we are done with this one. Okay, I got the submission, one submission here. There is okay, Safin, do you think that for the rice is the correct one? Because if you see that it's there is a possibility like it can't hold certain amount of rice, right? It's just my opinion, so it's up to you if you want to change it or if you want to keep it. Mm, okay. No, you cannot use it for multiple times. Yes, sometimes we can use the same container for multi-purpose, but here we will just keep it on for one time. Yep, you're almost right, BT, so it's fine. Nasika. Yes, you are also right. Yeah, you can do that, Safrin, and you can submit your answer again one more time. Yes, Onik, you're right for two, but where is your other two? I can say it. Oh, I got it now. Yes, that is correct, Onik. I think so. Okay, so let me check. Yes, okay, so you changed it. Done, so it looks good now. Submit your answer is right. Yes, so we got the idea, right? So for each for different items, we have to keep in a different container, right? So if you want to keep this milk in a like paper bag container, we cannot do that, right? If you want to keep that in plastic bag container, there is a possibility like it gets leaked from the bag, and then you lost it. And for milk, we can keep that in plastic container, or also we can keep that in glass container. It can be possible. The same item can go to that in a different place, right? Yes, that is correct, Anila. That is correct. Okay, so then let's start. So you got the idea about the milk, right? So the same thing goes for the bread. So bread, you can keep that in a paper bag container. You can also keep that in a plastic bag. You can keep that in a plastic container. You can keep that in a glass container. So if the bread is kind of like it goes to that any place, right? But usually we keep that in one single container. We maintain that. And for the clothes, we keep that either in plastic bag or in a plastic container, not in paper bag, right? We don't keep that in paper bag or in glass container. Same goes for the rice. So what will happen if you keep that rice in a paper bag container? We usually don't do that, right? We don't do that. And for plastic bag container, yes, we can keep that, but there is a possibility like we might lose that rice. But if we keep that in a plastic container or glass container, then it might be safe, right? It will be safe. So you got the idea about the container, right? For each and specific container, we can keep some specific uh, things. So here in programming, we also have the same kind of concept, and that is like where is that? Okay, so that is kind of like we have a different things, different kind of like data that we have to like save, and we have to keep that in a container. For example, your name, like any name, okay, any name. Then let's say your phone number, something like that. Let's say the weather, uh, weather. Yeah, these are the like common thing, right? Any other thing that you can think of? Address, email. So there are like a lot of things like we can save. For example, if you try to sign up for any page, it will ask you a lot of things like your phone number, your address, your name, your date of birth, a lot of things, right? So these are the things that it need to store. It needs to save somewhere, right? It's saving somewhere, and when it's saving in a format. And in programming, we have to save this kind of things in a specific container. For example, this name, like any name or your address or email address, these are the things that it might be like a alphabet, only alphabets or alphanumeric, right? So it might be, so this can be possible, right? I can type this Zaki.Hossain at idsurface.com, right? In this case, if you see, I have like my name, then dot, then at the rate sign. So some are like special characters we have here, right? And also I have some alphabets. Is this possible if I also keep something like numbers here? It's possible, right? For this kind of situation, when you have to store name, you have to store address, you have to store email address, we use string. This is a container. Okay, this is a container. We have to use string. Okay, if you remember that we have a glass container. In glass container, we always keep like milk or rice, something like that. So you can keep both of them as well, right? Milk and rice, not like at the same time, but separately you can keep that. But here you can keep all of them together. There is no problem with that, because in the string you can keep anything. You can keep number, you can keep alphabets, anything. So this is the character, this is a container. One of the things is, this is a container where you have to save your information. What kind of information? Name, address, email address, something like that. Okay, so we have also one more container, that is integer. This int, this is a short form of integer. Integer, okay, this is a short form, int. So here we keep only the real numbers. Real numbers means that 10, 50, something like this. Okay, so in integer we don't keep like something like this. We don't keep decimal point numbers. In integer we only keep real numbers. Real numbers means that without decimal numbers. You can also keep minus 50, which is possible. You can do that, but we don't keep these kind of numbers which have a decimal point number. So this is the one, integer. Integer is another container. Okay, the container. Now, as I said that I cannot keep this decimal point number, that means that we need another container for this one, right? So the another container that we have to keep this kind of numbers is double. Okay, we can keep decimal point numbers there. Okay, so till now we understood three container. In one container, that is a string. In a string container you can keep anything, numbers, letters, or combination of both of them. You can do anything. In integer we can keep only real numbers, that means which is not a decimal point number. And in double you can also keep real numbers, but that is considered, for example, if you're trying to save 10, so what it will do is it will save like 10.0, because you are just trying to save 10, but the program will say that, okay, so you are saving in double container, so I will keep this 10.0. Okay, so don't worry about that. So you can keep real number as well, but it will consider that as a double number. Okay, so double means that decimal point number. Okay, so we understood three container here. Any question here? Okay, no problem. So no question till now. This is the base of your programming, so you should understand this one very carefully, because most of the time you might be working with string and integer most of the time, because what you need to do is, let's say that you are a tester, right? If you are a tester and if you need to test, then you have to go, your application is this one. Let's say that your application is automationpractice.com, so it's loading. Don't say that this is not working. Okay, it's working. Okay, so what we need to do is, let's say that you are a tester for this application, and now we have to verify that. Let's click on this one. So you have to verify this. You see this woman here, this word. You have to verify this word. If you are able to verify this word, that means that you are here in this woman page. So as a manual tester, you can easily just go to that website and then click on woman, then you will verify this woman, right? You can easily do that. But how you will do that in automation? So you have to keep that, right? You have to keep it, and then you have to verify that with your whatever you saved there. So if you save there in a string that woman, then you have to compare that, right? You have to verify that. So we'll see that eventually, that how we will verify these things by using this programming. But you see, whatever you see here, that words or that the sentences, you have to verify this. So to verify this, you need a string. And to verify the numbers, for example, here it says that $27, right? So if you need to verify this number, then you need integer. If you have something like decimal point number 16.51, then you need to use double. Okay, so these are the places that where we will use these containers. Okay, we'll save our data and then we'll check our data with this data and verify that if it is matching or not. So our job is to match. Okay, our job is to match the things. Okay, I hope you got the idea. So these are, with this three container, you need to understand one more container. Okay, only one more for now. But there are like we have more than these containers, like we have more, but for now, if you just understand only three, then four, then you will be able to write any test cases, test script, or even you can do any operation if you just understand these four for right now. But we have more data, like more container like this. Okay, so we have one more container that is called Boolean. Boolean is a little tricky, but it's very simple. Like it can store either true or false. It cannot store other than this true or false. Even though it's a very simple thing, like it can hold only true or false, but this is sometimes we feel like this is tricky. Tricky in the sense like let's say that I am asking you, like, if it is not raining outside, then we'll go outside, right? In here, the raining, is it true or false? Let's say it's raining outside. So depending on the rain, I have a like situation, right? I have to make a decision, right? So I'm giving a situation here. So it's the condition is, the thing is, if it is raining outside, then I will not go outside. I will not go to any place. And now it's raining. So should I go outside? No, right? Yeah, so I should not go outside because I already give that condition to you that if it is raining outside, then I will not go outside. Now it's time for checking. So let's say that someone is I have a plan to meet someone at like tomorrow at 12. Then I also give him that condition that if it's raining at that time, then I will not come and meet with you. Okay, so I gave them some condition. Then at 12, I will check if it is raining or not, if it is true or false. If it is raining, that means it's true. If it is not raining, that means it's false. If it is true, then I will not go. If it is false, then I will go. Okay, so this boolean, this container is very simple, like it will take only true or false, but it's little tricky in case of condition. Condition means that you have to check the condition. So where you will use this? Okay, let's check it out. Let's say that your task is to check this word, right? Omen. Now you will check that if it is matching or not. Are you really getting this WOMEN, omen or not? If you're getting it, then you'll say test is passed. But if you're not getting it, if you get something like only man here, that's when test is failed. Why is that? Because you are in home page, you clicked on omen, you're supposed to go to the omen page, right? If you go to the omen page and if it is matching, that's when its test is passed. But if you are here in the home page, if you click on omen and it's taking you to the man's page, that's when the test is failed, right? Don't forget about the automation. Just think about as like a manual tester. If I give you this task, okay, so if I give you this task and you have to perform that like as a manual tester, then what you'll do, you will go to this home page, click on this omen, and then when you go to this, when the page loads, then you will check this header, if it is omen or not. That's it. The same thing we will check. So if it is omen, then the test is passed. So try to understand the words that I'm using. I'm saying that if it is matching, then I will say the test is passed. If it is not, then I will say test is failed. So I will use this true or false over there. Okay, so we'll do that later. But for now, do we have any question about these containers?
Only about for the last container for the boolean. So to justify it is true or false, I have to check the conditions first. Then I have to ask the question by myself. Okay, it matches the condition. Right now it will be on boolean. Correct?
Almost there, but you will understand when we will do some hands-on practice.
Okay.
So
okay.
that's why
Great.
I mentioned that Boolean is little tricky. So when we'll do some hands-on practice, then you will get the idea.
Okay then. Thank you.
No problem. So we don't have any questions, so we're moving forward, right? Okay. So till now, I was telling you that these are containers, this string. Okay, so let's go move forward with the container method, and then I'll change it later. So I want to store this my name. Okay, I want to store my name here. First of all, this is a container, right? And I want to save my name. So if you go back to this picture again, so you want to save this meal in a glass container. So what you'll do, you'll just simply type glass container equals to milk, right? Am I right here? No questions, right? Okay, so I said that I want to store, I want to save this milk in a glass container. So what I'll do, I will do the same. I will use the same approach here. That is, I want to store my name in this container, right? I want to store this my name in this container. Okay. So one thing for other containers, I will use with I will start with the lowercase, but only for string I will use uppercase. You will understand that after a couple of weeks that why we are using this uppercase and why we have others in a lowercase. Okay, but for now we'll practice it in this format. Okay, so now, so this is my container and I want to use this, right? I want to keep my name here. Now let's say that I want to store one more. I have like a first name and last name, sir. So I will use same container and keep this name. As we know that we always have to use semicolon right after each and every line, so I use this one. Now one thing I'm missing here, so if you see these containers, just think about the containers here. Just think about these containers here, and one ship is carrying all this container. So the ship is carrying all these 8 containers. Now, how the ship will know that which container needs to drop in which location? These all are like containers, right? All are containers. Now, how the ship will know that where this container need to ship, where this one, so how they'll know? So for each and every container, we have a specific number. They use specific numbers, right? Specific numbers or a specific name, right? So that in that case, they will just think like, okay, this is the container 1, so we have to drop it in like China. This is container 2, so we have to drop it in Japan. So something like that. So for each and every container, they have a different names. Okay. So here the concept is also same. We are trying to save our name in the container, but where we have to save it? We have to give some specific name, right? So this is my first name, so I will say that, okay, first name. So I already used this name in this container. Okay, so this is my last name, so what I'll do, I will try to keep this container name as like last name. Okay, so for each and every container, when you are trying to save anything, store anything, you have to give that name. At first, name of the container, what kind of container you are going to use, then unique name for the container, and then the value, equal sign and the value. And as I said, for the string, you always I didn't mention that before, but for a string, only for the string, we always have to keep our data in a double quotation. That we already practice it in the system out println. So whatever you have to type, whatever you type inside the double quotation, it will print as the same way, right, in the console. But if you have a number, it considers a different way. But if you have double quotation, then it will simply print whatever is there. It will not do anything. It will not check anything extra from there. Same thing, because this is a string container, so I will have to use this double quotation. Now you got this idea. So format is same. Format is almost same. Like for this string container, if I want to keep my name, because I have the 2 name, first name and last name, so I want to keep both of the name in a different container. I want to, or let's say that you want to store address. So that for address, as I said, that you can keep that in a string container, because a string always store like alphanumeric values or letters, or only letters, or only numbers. So we can use string container to store our address. Okay, so let's not go to this string address right now. Let's do with another one. So before I go to the other one, so let's do some practice here. So what you'll do is you will create 2 containers. That is, one is a string, both of them will be string. One will be the first name another will be the last name, and give your first name here and last name here. And this is the format that you have to follow. Okay. So this is how this this data, these values get stored in your program. Any question?
Till now, no.
Okay, then it will take only like a couple of minutes. I think only 2 minutes to create these two lines. In one line, you have to store your first name, and in the second line, you have to store your last name. Let me know when you are done. Oh, you're slowly. Okay, no problem. Take your time.
I see that when you wrote, so after string there is a space, and then first is lowercase and name is uppercase, and there is
Okay.
a space. Huh?
For this one, whatever way you can write it now, but I will tell you about this one later. That why I did it, why I write it in this format.
Okay, and that's okay, right?
That's fine. That's fine. For now, that's fine. So
Okay.
if you just put it first name is fine. And the thing I mentioned before, like in programming, in nowhere use any space. Okay, nowhere. Like in your
Oh.
name or anything. Yes, you have to give this space. Without this space, you will not be able to do anything, because this is the place you need the space between the string and the name of the container. You need this space. Without that, it will not work. And this one, this space is extra, this space is extra. If you don't have this space here, which is fine. But if you have multiple things, the same thing, same line, then you need this. You need to have this space. You see this here? So I'm getting this red on the line, right? So I cannot do that. So I need this space here. So space means that it's verifying that what kind of container is that. Got it?
Yes, but I think mine is showing error.
Okay. Did you follow the same thing here?
Okay, string, first name, you said it doesn't matter. Okay, I have to
String
capitalize the first.
capital, yes. The string S should be capital, and the rest of the things you have to give anything here. It doesn't matter. After the equal sign, you have to use the double quotation to store
Yeah.
your value. Are you still getting the error?
Yes, it's not running.
Okay, let me check it out. It's running, but you don't have any error. These are not errors, so these are warning. If you keep your cursor there, so if you just maximize your window so everyone can see that. So you have this first name, last name, right? So if you keep
Yes.
your cursor in first name, let's check that what it says.
Okay, the value of the local variable first name is not used.
Is not used. You created that, so you have a container. You saved something inside the container, but you did not use anywhere. You didn't ship that. So it's not in use.
What does that mean?
That means that you created something, but you didn't use that yet. Once you use that, you will not see this warning. This is just a warning. This is not like an error.
Oh, okay. I see. So, do you think I should try running it again?
No, if you run it again, you will not see that output. If you run it, you can do that. You'll see the whatever the output you have till that point. You'll see that on.
But it's not gonna print.
No. I'll show you that how you want to.
And you don't want it to print. You just want us to just try. That's all, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So before I start, let me share the screen again. So I think I need to do that before you do a lot of work.
I have a one quick question.
Yes.
I did everything correctly, and after that, when I ran, something cloud sign came on the like a number sign over there in the 15 and 16. I think mine one doesn't have any error. I didn't got any error message, so it's run smoothly.
Yeah, if you don't have any error, that is kind of like only warning. That's it. It's a yellow underline.
Warning I got, but the differences I'm seeing, like the number you are typing over there to cloud sign has been appear on the screen. I'm not sure even though it's cloud sign or something. It's like something like orange color on the left side of the number.
That's
The light bulb.
Cloud. It's a bulb, kind of like bulb.
Yes.
So
Yeah, it's the same thing that I'm seeing, right?
Yes.
It's
just a warning. That's it.
Right.
Oh, it's a warning.
Yes, it's just a warning. So I'll let you.
We are not using this number in this box yet, so that's why, right?
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
Okay, so Nasida, your code looks good to me. Suraya, your code is also looks good to me. Yeah. So let's move forward. So before I move forward, so let's do one thing because you already have practiced this system of talent. Sorry. So if you already have practiced that system of talent, and if you're trying to do the same thing in the same class, it will be an issue in the later point of time to understand your class. So let's try to do one thing. So we already have this project. We already have this SRC folder. Expand this SRC folder, then you'll see your package here that we created in our last session. When you expand this package, then you'll see the class that you are working right now, the name of the class. Okay, so what you need to do, right click on the package. Okay, right click on the package, then you will see this option. The first is new. You have to select that option, new, and then select this class. So we'll work on a new class. Okay, we'll work on a new class. So again, I'm showing here. So if you have something like this in the project, expand that project, then you'll see two options. One is GRE and second is SRC. Expand this SRC, then you'll see this package here. Expand this package, then you'll see sample class or whatever the class you have created, the name. Now right click on this package. Package means something like this brown sign. Right click on that one, go to this new and click on class. Once you click on class, then it will show you this dialog box and it's asking the name of the class that you want to create. So right now give this name. I will explain that to you why I give this name. Okay, data type. Okay, so give this name to your class and then I will explain to you that why I gave this name. And then also I need this, the first checkbox check. That's it. The name of the class and the first checkbox checks.
Did you name it data type?
Data type, yes.
Okay.
So let me share that name here. Okay, I can do that again, no problem. So what you need to do is, if you see something like this, on the left side, expand that, then you'll see two options. One is JRE System Library and another is SRC. Expand this SRC, then you'll see the package here. If you expand this package, then you'll see the name of the class that you are working right now. So I don't need to do anything in the class. What I need to do, I need to right click on the package name. Then I'll see this option new, then select this class. Once you select this class, then you have to give a name of this class as we did in the last session. Data type, give this name, data type. And then also select the first checkbox, public static void main. Only the first one, okay? Don't click on anywhere else. Only the first checkbox and then click on finish. Once you click on finish, it will create a new class and it will immediately take you to that class. So this is my new class, right? And as I said that I don't need this comment line, so I will delete this line. And then I will give some extra space so that I don't delete this to ending brackets, and also I should not write any codes outside these brackets, right? So that's why it's better, it's safe if you just give some extra space. Now I'm here. What you need to do, whatever the things that you're practicing, the like storing thing, container thing, that we'll do it here, okay? So let me just copy and paste it here. Okay, so this is our containers that we understood, and this is the first thing that we saved. Okay, now the thing is, this one, if I want to run it, I can run it. I can run it as a Java application, but I'm not able to see anything. See, there is nothing there, right? In your case, if you are working in the same class, you might be seeing your old result. That's why I just think like, I just thought that if you just create a new class, it will be helpful for you. Okay, so right now I'm running this class, but it's not showing anything, right? But let's try to print my name using the system out println. System.out.println and then semicolon, and in the middle of this parenthesis I have to use my name, right, to see that name. Okay, now run it. Now I'll see only this line. You see that whatever I have inside this double quotation, I can see there, because you see the Z is capital, but here Z is not capital, it's in lowercase. So whatever you keep it here, it will print as is. You got the idea? Now I want to print this, whatever I have it here, whatever this container have, I want to print that. I want to see that. I want to see that here in the console. Just simply delete whatever you have inside the println, including the double quotation, and then just type the name of that, type the name of this container. Okay, this is what kind of container. This is the name of the container. This is the value of the container, right? So just here type the name of the container. So my name of the container is first name. Now what will happen if you just run it, it will show you the name. You see that I'm calling the container and it's giving me the value of the container. Okay, so now it's your task to create one more system out println and then print this last name. Okay, so I'm doing it, no problem, but let's do it together. Okay, and in the middle of the parenthesis, what I need to keep it here, if you want to print my last name, anyone?
To put here your last name.
My last name, like this.
No, last name.
Container name. That is the last name,
Container
right?
name. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So this, if I write my last name, this is the container name that I used. If I write it here, then I will be able to see my first name and also my last name. You see that? Okay. Now it's a small quiz for you. Okay. So now don't answer that. Don't share your answer with all of you, everyone. Okay. Send it only to me. So I have this one here. Now tell me, what will be the output here? What the output I'll see here? And you have to answer that within a minute.
I didn't get the question.
The question is, you see this here, line number 18 and line number 19.
Mm-hmm.
If I run my program now, so what I'll see in my output?
Oh, okay.
Yes, Mr. Mizan, you are right. Okay, yes, there should be no error, and I'll explain that. No problem. Okay. No, exactly. You have to write this, the thing that I'm going to see in the console, in the output. Beauty. So you have to answer that question again, because that is not the thing that I will see in that output. No. Again, you're wrong. Beauty, you're wrong. What happened with others? So even though if you're wrong, so okay, I'll repeat that question again. So, but even if you're wrong, just try to answer that question. Then I'll explain to you, right? So here my question is, I have this line number 18 and line number 19. So if I have this line without this double quotation, then I'll be able to see this output, right? This output. Now let's say that here I have used this double quotation, then what will be my output? You got the question, Nasita? Exact thing, but what is the thing? Anik, you are almost right, because you are using space. So Suffering, you are also using space, and that is not the thing that I don't think that you answer it correctly. Anik and Suffering both. Nothing. No, you'll see some output. Nasida, you'll see some output. Anik, your answer is right. So you see this one here? Just try to remember what we did in our like practice session for this one. Okay, now let's move forward. Okay, so because it's already 8:30. Okay, So if I run this one, then I will see exactly the same thing whatever I have inside the double quotation. So it will not change anything. Yes, that is correct, Anila. And Saptin, your answer is almost there, but when you answer me that with that output, then you are wrong. At the time you are wrong, but your answer for the exact thing was correct. Yes, that's right, Anila. So the thing is, whatever you keep inside the double quotation, it will print exactly the same thing. It will not consider anything. It will not check whatever is there. Okay, but if you keep that, if you already have a name of any container, and if you try to print that, the value of the container, just simply use that like this. Don't use the double quotation. If you are using container, then don't use this double quotation. Okay, so let's try to write it again, and now you will see this is my first name, this is my last name. Okay, now if you understood this one, let's try to work with two other containers. Okay, it's 8:15. Okay, let's do that other container, then we'll take the break. Okay, so we have another container that is for real numbers, right? Real numbers, and that is the type of the container is integer. You see that is integer. What kind of container? Integer type of container. Okay, now what I want to store, I want to store 100. Now as I said that only one place you need a double quotation, that is for string. In all other cases you don't need double quotation. Okay, remember this one. So for all other containers we don't need double quotation. Only for a string we need double quotation to store the value. Okay, now for integer again the same thing. This is a container, and this is I want to store this 100 in the container. So there are like a lot of containers, right? So I have to store that in a specific container, right? So I have to give it name of the container. So let's say this container name is like integer number 1, something like that. Okay, so in the same way I can create multiple container like this. Number 2 equals to minus 300. Okay, so it's up to me that if I want to use minus or not. In case if I need to use a minus, I can also store the minus value. But this is the way how we can use this integer, okay, to store real numbers. Got the idea? Any question? No questions, right? So the same thing, if you remember that we tried to print something, right? We tried to print numbers before, for example 100, and it was printing 100, right? And there is no issue with that. But now this 100 is saved inside a container. Then instead of using the number directly, can I use the container here, name of the container here? Can I do that? No.
Number have to have integer, right?
No.
Okay, so there is one more question. Okay, so what is the question? Do you have any questions, Surya?
Oh, no. Yeah. There is a int number 1.
Int number 1. Yes, int number 1. And okay, I thought that you might have the same question with this, so that's why I was trying to get that question. No problem. So this 100 is a kind of like any value, right? Anything, any value, and then you are printing it directly. You are printing it directly here. Now, if you store this number inside any container, and if you use that container to print that value, can I do that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, I think like 50% of you are with yes and 50% with no. So just think about this one. If I want to print my name directly, I can do that. I can easily do that. You see that? I can easily print my name. Instead of printing my name directly, I also can use the name of the container. Not likely for Anila. So we need the container. We need the things that we need where we'll save it, and then sometime after some couple of lines or 100 of lines we'll use that. So we need the container. So it's a good idea to use that. So it's not all the time we'll use directly the numbers. We'll not do that. We'll keep that number somewhere and then we'll use that. Okay, so you got that idea. So for this one, if I just use this Zakir in the double quotation inside that system out println, it will print the same thing, right? And now if I'm just using the container, if I'm calling this container, and this container is holding then my name, right? Holding my first name, so I can just simply run it and it will give me the output, my first name, right? The same concept goes here. So if I want to print this 100 directly, I can do that. 100 is there. But if I want to store this 100 inside any container, and if I just call that container, will that print that number 100 at the time?
Yes, if I select any specific container, then it should let us run, because we did the same thing in our first homework.
Yes. So here, this 100 I'm saving here inside the number 1. So instead of typing 100 directly, I can just use the container name, right? Like this. Now if I run it, it will print my name for the first line, line number 18, last name for the line number 19, and this 100 for line number 24. You see that? So this container name is kind of like working as a reference. You are saving this.
Like we can have multiple numbers value of integer in a same box. So instead of typing 100, 2000, 700, we can directly select the box and it will be select automatically everything.
Yes, that is true. We did this kind of math, right? Let x equals to 100. Let x equals to 10. Long time ago, we did this kind of math, right? Not like this one, like so it's almost, the concept is almost same. So I am keeping some value inside a container. Okay. So here for the second one, number 2, if I want to print this the value of this number 2 container, I can also do the same thing. System dot out dot println and then number 2, and in the end of the line, semicolon. So if I run this one, it will print my first name, last name, 100 and minus 300. You see that? So this is basically this number one, number two, this first name, last name is working as like a reference. This is for first name. This one is working as like is holding my name in a container, and this is like a reference. So I can use this reference to call my first name. I can use this reference last name to call my last name. If I use this reference number one, I can call 100. So these are working as like a reference. Okay. So let's say that in a school. So what happens? I don't sure about here, but here as well in the work location, you always have a employee ID, and in school we have a student ID. Why we have this ID? Because there is a possibility like there is no like it's very difficult to remember all the name of the students, right, or the employees. So it's better if we keep them like you give them some unique numbers. So here is the same thing. We use something like a reference here to store something. Okay. So it's 8:24. Let's take a break, and after the break, we will see the other two containers that we have, like double and boolean. If you understood integer, then it's very easy for you to understand the double. It's just like decimal point number you are saying. That's it, nothing else. Okay. So let's take a break until like 8:45, like 20 minutes break.
This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so the thing is, when you created this okay, so everything looks good except one thing. In line number 5, somehow you deleted that the opening curly bracket in line number 5 in the end of the line. After that, yes, in end of the line here, keep your cursor there, and then just give a opening curly bracket. It's on top of that the bracket. Yes, this is the one. Yes, your errors are gone. Now, if you, no, you have one more error. If you scroll down, can you scroll down, please? So you have one extra bracket here in line number 36. No, not that one. Line number 36. Yes, that is the opening curly bracket. Somehow you give enter and it came down here. Just delete that 36. And then, okay, now you don't have any issue. If you go scroll up and then start working from here in line number 7. Okay, so let's start again. So this is very common mistake that we usually do, like when we are writing our script, sometimes we write outside the class or outside the package, outside the method. So at that point, it will not work. Okay. So till now, we try to understand about the containers, and we already have done a couple of examples with 2 containers, one with the string. String is basically can store or save different kind of characters, like alphanumeric characters, special characters. You can store anything over there inside that. And in integer, that is another container. In integer, you can only store real numbers. Real numbers means that is not a decimal number. So okay, so let's say that what will happen if we try to store something like this: number 3 equals to 10.20. What will happen? You see this here? Change. So it says that type mismatch. So it's not letting you to save that 10.20, which is a decimal point number. It's not letting you to save that number inside this container, because this container only can store real number, but you are trying to store decimal point number. It's not possible. And if you keep your cursor here in the red underline, then you see that type mismatch cannot convert from double to integer. So it's saying that this is a double. This value, this whatever the things that you are trying to store is belongs to double container. So it's a typing mismatch. Okay. Now if you take it down, then you will be able to store that. Okay. Now let's move forward and try to okay, so do you have any question from this string and integer?
No, I understand. I'm good.
Okay. Anyone else have any issue? No one? Okay. Okay, so now let's try to understand our another container, that is double. And then I said that I want to store 100.20. So same thing, the logic is same. If you have a container double, and if you want to store something inside the container, you also have to give the name of the container. But what will be the name of that? Let's say that it's a weather. Let's say. So it's a weather. So weather is always like it's a, we have a decimal point number, right? If you check that in Fahrenheit, not really. Sometimes we see that in real, real numbers, without decimal point numbers. But if you want, you can also check it in. What is the exact temperature right now? You can also check it in that format. So if you want to store that the weather, the number, what is that weather is going on outside, you can also store that like in this format. But in that kind of situation, you have to use this double container. Okay, so logic is saying to print that out, system.out.println. This is very common thing. Every time you use that, and inside the parentheses, what should I print? Temperature, right? Should I write 100.20? Should I do that? Anyone?
Sorry,
Yeah,
what
so
is the question?
my question is, I want to print the temperature, the weather right now, whatever temperature we have. So I want to print that. So should I write the temperature directly here?
Weather.
Weather, right?
Yes.
Yes, that is good. So we already have a something, you are also right. So we already have a container called weather, and in that container we already have the value. So we will just simply call that container. So once we call that container, I will be able to see the value here, right? You see this?
Yes.
100.2. Now let's say that I want to store double temperature, something like that, equals to 10. Can I do that?
No, 10 is integer. It's
10
not
in
right.
it. Okay. Anyone else?
Yes.
Something said no. Okay. Has to be decimal. Anila say has to be decimal. Okay. Anyone else wants to try?
Yes. It's right.
Yeah. So Surya said yes. Only 2% say yes. Nasida also said yes. It is fine. So 2 says yes and 3 no. Is there anyone else wants to go with yes, and then it will be tie? No one? BT says no. That's mean that the no will win. Okay, no problem. Then let's go in and check. Okay. Now this is temperature. This is, I say that this is only store decimal point number. It will store decimal point number if I keep this 10.00 is the same meaning without the 10.00, because it's a decimal, it's a real number, but when it's storing in the double in this container, this container automatically will give this decimal point number here, this 0.0 here, because this number is saving inside this double. If this is the only place, it's different. Okay, this is the only place you will get this different, because you are trying to store something real number inside a double container. That's why, even though if you don't give that, let me print it out, then you'll get the idea.
One thing I would like to mention, like I have it always in my mind. I can put anything in sprint. I can put any number in integer, but if the number have the decimal friction, then it will have to have double.
Yes, that is none. Okay, so let's try to print this one and see if it is what it says. So 10, right? So it says that 10.0, so I'm saving it 10.0. So if I try to save it only 10, then I will again see the same thing, 10.0. Because when it's saving it, it's considering this one as like decimal point number. So automatically it's giving 0.0. And you know that for 0.0, there is no value on that, right? But still it's saving it in that format because you are trying to save this real number inside a double container. And that is the reason. Okay. Both of them are same thing, like integer and double, saving these numbers. But only difference is decimal point number you cannot save inside the integer. You have to use double. You can store real number here, but that will be considered as a decimal point number in the double. Okay. So one last thing, that is, we'll see that, but we'll just try to declare that here today, but we're not going to see that the work of that one, that boolean, today, because before that we have to do a lot of things. Okay, so another container we have, that is boolean, and again, as I said before, boolean only can store either true or false. You cannot store anything else. It will be either true or false. So in boolean you can keep anything. So let's say it's raining. If it is raining true, then I will not go outside. If it is raining false, then I will go outside. So we'll check that in our next session. But today we'll just print it out what it says. Okay, it's very simple. And for this one, I'm not going to give you time for practice because it's just like the same thing that we did for string and integer. Okay. Okay, so it's raining. Today it was raining though. Okay. Now if I run it, it will show me the last one as true. And whatever you see in this purple color here, everything is a keyword. Sorry, not this 100. Double, boolean, true, integer, even false. These are keywords. So you cannot use this keyword for the name of your container. For example, if you try to do that, you cannot do that because true is a keyword of Java. In Java, we have around like 52 keywords. So we don't need this. We cannot use this keyword for our naming of any container. So we should not use that. Okay. So we cannot do that. So we'll get back to the previous name again. Okay. So this is about this the containers. We have 4 containers: string, integer, and I believe you understood string and integer because they didn't ask any question from here. And double is same thing, just you are saving the value which have a decimal point numbers. And in boolean, either you can store true or false. That is it.
So only for string, so the string, then the container name equals the a variable or whatever it is called, that can be inside the quotation. The rest of the other, they don't need any quotation, right? What if we put quotation for the other ones?
What will happen? So in integer, if you're not able to store that, you see that here, you'll get an error here. It says that type mismatch cannot convert from string to integer. You cannot do that.
Okay.
This
So it's only for string. It's only for string, right?
that is correct.
Okay.
Only for
Okay.
okay. So now let's get back to this part. Like till now, I was okay. So do you have any question about this string, integer, double, and boolean? Any question? So boolean we'll explore more in our next session. So I just show you that how to declare that, how to create that, and how you can just print that. The same thing like you are doing in for string and integer. Any question from here?
Till now, no, but I would like to share one thing.
Okay.
At the last, can you just scroll down so that I can explain to you a little bit more? Yeah, it's okay, So over here, like I'm like trying to playing it more, and I'm learning more. So when we typed just the weather, and after that when we hit the play button, it shows us the like value of the box, whatever we have it inside the box, like 100.20.
Yes.
But if I put the double quotation under the parenthesis, then it just shows the whatever we typed before, like the weather.
Yes.
Like on that time, it's becoming like a sprint instead of that double value, right?
Yes. String.
Yes, correct. I got it. Thank you.
Yeah, that will become like as a string. So whatever you give this inside, it will consider that as like a string.
Yes. So inside the quotation, if we put something, it will be considered as a string. And if we want to just get the value of the box, then on that time without the double quotation, we can type the things and it will becomes as a doubles value. I got it. Thank you.
Okay, and one more thing, if you see here, if you have a space, if you have any space, that space doesn't consider in the programming. This space, it doesn't consider that.
It doesn't matter if it is space or without space, right?
No, it doesn't matter. So this space only matters. So make sure that you understand this part. This space only matters if you keep that in double quotation. This space only matters if you keep that inside a double quotation. But outside the double quotation, no matter what, how many space you give here, it will not consider that.
Yeah, inside the double quotation is count as a like a space count as a value. So that's why.
It's counting as like a character. Space is also a character.
Yes.
Okay. So I believe
Got
you
it.
understood this. No problem. Okay, so this one. Okay, so no questions, right? No questions. Now let's understand that what we did here. Now let's back to that the programming context. Okay, how this we talk about this in programming. So till now we understood that this is a container. This is a kind of like container where we can keep specific kind of things inside the container, and we also have to give a name for the container. Okay, so do you have any question here on this line that I just said?
So when you say the first day you said that for programming, don't put any space. What do you mean by that?
Don't put any space will mean that if you see here first and name, if I just give a space, it's not gonna work. And if you try to create a class, let's say that if you try to create a class, anything, it's not gonna work because you are giving a space here. So it's
But
better not to use any space.
between the string and the first name, it's fine. first name and the equal sign, it's fine. The space is fine, right?
Yeah, if you want, you can keep that. If you don't want, you can also remove that
It
space.
doesn't
But
matter. Okay.
here, to separate these are two different things, right? You have to mention the container type, what kind of container you are using, and what is the container name. So let's say that if I write in this format, so how many people will understand this one? If no one knows about my name, and someone is seeing this thing for the first time, so
Mm-hmm.
how they will pronounce my name?
Right.
Because they don't know, right? These are two names that I have, right?
Yes.
You got the idea? So that's why I need a space to show that person that, okay, so if you need to call me, use this name or this name. Or you can call me both names. At that time, the person will be able to call my name by seeing that, okay, so there is a space between that, so I have to separate this thing.
Right.
Otherwise, it will be difficult for that person to pronounce that. Okay, what is the question?
Right. No, you also said, and I know you said it before, just want to confirm that, and the string first name, I see that you are typing everything else is lowercase, but only the name is uppercase.
Okay, so this is we usually I talk about that one after a couple of class, because this is called naming convention. So for each and everything, you will see for the variables. Sorry, for the name of the containers, we try to use start with the lowercase, and if we have a multiple words, then the second word we start with the uppercase. And why is that? Let's say that. We have something like this: first name of person. Okay, so
Okay.
if you are seeing this one for the first time, how you read it, right? So it will be
Right.
very difficult for you to understand whatever I have written here. So that's why that is a programming convention that we have, that if you have a multiple words, then it's better to use this format, which called as like camel case, where you have to start with lowercase. Then every time the new words come, you have to use the uppercase for the first time only.
Oh,
First name of person, like this.
oh, I see. Okay.
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 So I will
Got it.
explain this one for the different cases, different places. We have to use a different way. But for the name of the containers, you have to use this format. That is true.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so let me check this part out. Okay, now, so till now I was talking about the container, name of the container, and we are keeping some value inside the container. So how many of you understood that? This is a value, right? How many of you understood this is like a value that you are trying to keep inside the container? Do you have any question here that this is a like value? No, right? Okay. So till now I was telling you that this is a, okay, so I have to change this one. Till now I was telling you that this is a container type, right? What kind of container is that? What kind of thing that you want to keep inside this container? So in programming, we call that as data type. Data type. What kind of data you want to keep? So this is a data type. Okay, so you got this container, that I was using this word to understand that how these things are working. In programming, usually we call that as data type. So what kind of data you are trying to store? So data means that this is a data. This is the data. If you remember that we used that this concept in our manual testing class in when we are creating the test case document. You remember that we use the test data, the term test data. In test data, I told you to, if you have a username and password, you have to write that username colon and then the username, or the equal sign, the username and the password, right? So the data, that is data. So here we will use the same thing. This is a data type. What kind of data you are trying to store? And this is a data, but usually call that is a value. The data type, and this is a value. Now, one last thing, that is, what we call this one? We call this one variable. Okay, just give me a second. Sorry. So this is we call variable. So we have three things. One is data type, the type of the data that you are going to store, then the name of the container that we are using that term before, and now from now we'll use this term variable. And for each and every variable, if you want to store something on that, we call that as value. So three things: data type, variable, value. Okay, so same thing for all of them. It's not only for string, it's for all of them, the same concept. It's a data type, it's a variable, and it's a value. Okay, so if I ask you that how many data types you know till now, how many data types you practiced here?
We did total 3 data types.
No.
Integer, boolean.
String, integer, boolean, and then
At the last, whatever, I forgot maybe. So total how many? 4?
4. Yes.
Last one was double.
Oh yes, double. Total 4.
Yes, total 4. That is
Thank
correct.
you, Beauty.
So string, any kind of thing that you want to store, you can keep that, and mandatory you have to keep that in double quotation. Integer, you can store only real numbers. Double, you can store decimal point numbers, and the boolean, either you can store true or false. So this is all about the data type. Data type is very important because when you are working, you have to store a string. Let's say that you have to compare something, you have to compare the header, or you have to compare some sentences in that page. So you have to store that sentence in your system, in your program first, and then you have to compare that with that page. So we'll check that how we compare that, but you have to do that. So when you have to compare that, somewhere you have to keep that. So that is why we need these data types. It's not only that to do the comparison. It's sometimes you will do some other work. Okay, so we'll see that as well. Now these are the data types that we know right now, but slowly I will give you some more idea about the other data types, but usually we don't use that unless it's necessary. But if you know only these 4 data types, then you'll be fine. You'll be able to work on any automation testing. Okay, so string, integer, double, and boolean. That's why I told you to give the name for this class as a data type, because in this class we learn about the data type. Now, any question from the data type? Anything that you didn't understand? Okay, I got 3 no's, so which means that everybody, I think everybody understood. Okay, 4 no's. Okay. Okay, so that is a good thing, because data type is very important, because you have to start from data type. Now we can move forward and do some operations. Okay, so same thing, we'll create a class for that. Okay, we'll create a class for that. We will not use the same class. Then it will be easy for you to do some practice. Okay, so let's do the same thing. Let's create a class again. Right click on the package, go to this new, and go to this class. Once you are here in this class, it's asking the name of the class. Give the name as like operations. We'll do some operations here. Okay, and when I'm treating it, I will show you later again, but when I'm treating it, if you see this here, I give the name. There is no issue with the name, but it's giving me warning. You see that on the top of that? It's giving me warning that type name is discouraged. By convention, Java type name usually start with an uppercase letter. So that's why when I was creating the class, I was giving the name of the class with the uppercase letter. You see this one? So if I just change this operations O with the capital, the warning is gone. So that is kind of like warning, not an error. Still, you will be able to create a class with the lowercase, which is fine. Now, after giving this name, click on this checkbox and then click on finish. Then it will take you to the new class. Do the same thing with every class. If you want to keep it, it's up to you. You can keep it. Usually I don't keep it. And then give some extra space so that you don't delete or you don't remove or type anything outside these brackets. Okay. Now we'll start from here. Okay. Are you with me?
Quick question. The new class we are going to create, that one name will be operation, and do we have to also check the box like a which name? Yeah,
public static void main. Check.
Void main. Yeah, I have to check it, right?
Yes, every time you create a class, you have to check it until or unless I tell you to not check it.
Got it.
But every time you create a class, you have to check it. If you don't check it, then you will not see this line. Then you have to type this line manually.
Yes, yes. Right now I can see those lines are. So what should I do now?
You can type it manually, or I can give you this one in the chat box. You can just copy and paste there.
Oh, no. I already have this line. So I'm asking right now, what should I do now after creating this class?
Don't do anything right now. We will start from here.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I believe you already have created this class. Now we are all on the same page. I believe so. Let's start. Now let's do some operation here. System.out.println. Okay. So inside this one, I told you if I give some numbers here, I will see this number right here, right? Now, if you see in your keyboard, you also have a plus, minus, multiplication, that is a steric sign, and then division sign as well. So we'll use this kind of signs here. So after this 100, if I just put this plus sign and give, like, for example, 200, what will happen? I don't have any error, right? I don't have any error here. And if I run this class, I will see the addition of this 100 and 200. If you want, you can check it out. I can give you only 2 minutes to do that. It's just one single line. You just need to type it. system out println, inside the parentheses, type this 100 and plus 200. Okay, it's done, right? Yes, I can see some of you already have shared that. Yes, so yeah, you can see that, right? 100 and 200. Now, because you didn't have any issue in the previous class means that the previous Java class. So I'm giving a small task here. So I don't want to do this 100 plus 200 here. Instead of doing that, why shouldn't I just create two variables and store these two values inside these two variables and use these two variables here, the name of the two variables here. Can I do that? Yes, right? So let's do it now here. So I want to store 100, and what kind of data type is for this one, this 100? You can type it there in the chat box, but share with only with me. Don't share your answer with everyone. I want to store this 100. Okay, yes, that is correct. That is correct. Yes, almost everyone is right. That means that we got this idea. So I want to store this 100 and the data type will be integer. That is correct. Now, because I want to store it, so I have to give a name of a variable, right? So variable name. So variable name, let's say that let's give a name number 1, and then because I have to store it, so I have to use a equal sign. So equal sign means that this variable is storing this 100. Okay, so basically the thing is this 100 is going inside this number 1. This equal sign means that it's holding that. Now, can I do the same thing for 200? I think yes, right? And the format is same. 200, I want to save it 200. And what kind of data type? Same kind of data type, right? And I have to give the name as well for this one. Number 2. Now, instead of doing this one directly, can I use the variable names here? Can I? Okay, yes, that is correct. Number 1, sorry, and this is number 2. So instead of using the values directly here, I can use the variables because variables are holding these numbers. So I can just use this variable, and this variable will add the numbers. You see that? So basically in the background, what is going on is it says that, okay, so this is number 1 is coming here, and this is number 2, it's coming here. So it's adding it and it's printing this 300. Okay. Now let's say that I want to do this operation, but not in this inside this system out println. What I can do is I want to do this operation here, number 1 plus number 2. Okay, so I want to do this operation. So what kind of data type I'm working with here? what kind of data type I'm working with.
Sorry, what is the question?
So here I'm trying to add two numbers, two variables.
Mm-hmm.
So what kind of data type I'm working with this line, in this line number 9?
In number line, we are working on the data type integer.
Integer. So remember one thing, when you're working with one data type, if you're doing some operation, then you should save the result inside the same kind of data type. Okay, so
Okay.
here I'm doing some operation and both of the variables are integer, so I will keep that in a integer data type. And same thing, I have to give some variable name that I want to store, and then I'll store in this format. So whatever I did it before, it's almost the same thing. You see this one? So
Correct.
basically in the background, what is going on here is 100 plus 200. And if I remove this line, it will be something like this. Okay, should I keep that? Should I will keep that here. So it will be look like this. Stem.out.println, and here I'll just type result. So in the result, I have the result that is 100 plus 200, which is result, which will go inside the result. Now if I print this result, I will see 300 here. This is a 300 here. Now instead of like adding these values directly, I can simply add the variable, adding the variables, right? 1 plus number 2. I can simply use the variables because it's better, because I already have these values saved inside the variable, so I can use that. So it's the same thing that I did before. It was giving me 300. Now again, it will give me the 300. Same thing. Nothing is like new here. You got the idea here? Any question? Okay. So based on this one, so because you don't have any questions, so based on this one, you have to create two variable with the double values. Then you have to store the result, addition of the two variables inside a variable called result or something like that, like total, something like that. And then you have to print that out. And to do that, you have only 5 minutes. 4 lines of code, you have a 5 minutes. The sample is in front of you. You just need to follow this, and instead of integer, you have to create a double. And for double, your input should be 20.50, and what is the one? 19.50. Let's say 19.50. So your result will be 40. Okay. So your time starts now, and you have only 5 minutes. If you didn't get that question, let me know. I will explain that again. 3 minutes gone. You have 2 more minutes. Okay, I got some submission here. Let me check it out. Okay. Certainly your code looks good. Nisita, your code also looks good. Yep. I got 2 submission and both of them are right. We are almost done. Do you need one more extra minute? Okay. One more submission. Ahmed, your code looks good to me. Okay, anyone wants to submit? Otherwise, I will move forward. Okay, so let's move forward. Okay, so the task was very simple if you understand the data type, because I already explained that what kind of data type you can store in which data type. Your task was to store these 2 values inside 2 variables, and you need to know that what kind of variable, what kind of data type will be for that 2 variables, right? Okay, I got one more submission here. Yes, that is correct. So you are also good. So I hope you are doing, like, everyone doing good, and still now if you're trying, even though I start, share your answer, I'll give you that feedback. So let me do that one. So I have to keep that in a comment, otherwise. Let me give you that idea here as well. So double, right? Double number 1 equals to 20.50. Double number 2 equals to 19.50. And as I said, you also need one more variable, that is result equals to number 1 plus number 2. Okay, beauty. Yes, answer is correct. So now it's time for print out, right? System.out.println and then printing this result. Now everything is fine, right? I don't see any issue. Do you see any issue here? Is there anyone here who can see the issue? Whenever you see red underline in your code, that's mean then in that place you have some issue. Okay. In my code, I have red underline in 3 places: 1, 2, and 3. Now, what happened here? I was mentioning about something like student ID, right? One student ID is only given to only one student, right? So it's not possible like same student ID will have in for 2 students. Or if we go back to the container concept, for 2 container will not have the same name, right? Then the people will get confused of which container have to deliver where. So the concept will come here the same thing, the same way. So I already used this name, use this variable name here. You see that? So I cannot use that again. So this is one of the rule in programming, that you cannot use the same name again here within the same class.
We
There
can
is
put
a
number 3, number 4.
yes, we have to use something different. We cannot use the same name. So if I give something else like number 3 and number 4, this one number 3, this one number 4, and instead of result I'll say result 2, and this one is also result 2. Now you see I don't have any issue. So this is one of the rules. You cannot use the same name. So there is a way we can do that, but we will see that like after a couple of weeks, you will understand that where we can use that. But right now, if you have a name here, if you declare that name somewhere, don't use the same name within the same class. Don't do that. Okay. So now if I run it, I will see 300. Also, I will see this 40. You see that? So any question on this task, adding 2 numbers?
So the good thing is that even if you make a mistake, you put your cursor on it and it actually tells you what mistake. So you have the chance to fix it by yourself. You don't have to panic, right?
Yes,
Does it
that is
always
correct.
happen? Yeah.
That is correct, and that's why we are using this IDE. This Eclipse IDE is giving us that option that where you are making this issue problem.
What is it? IDE?
This is Eclipse, right?
Right, right. Yeah, the name. Okay, I got it. Okay,
Eclipse is Eclipse
integrated
IDE.
development environment. Is that what it is?
Yes.
Okay.
So IDE full meaning is Integrated Development Environment. That is in short we call this IDE. So it's kind of like editor. So let's say that you are in Microsoft Word and mistakenly you type, let's say GOLA. There is no word called GOLA. The word is GOAL, right? Go. But if you type GOLA and if you put a space, then there will be like red underline, right?
Right, right, right. So
So
that's
the
good.
same thing goes here. So if your program is not like you are not typing according to that programming concept, then it will show you that there is an error.
Yes, thank you.
No problem. And Yes. If you see here, if I keep this one again in 1, you see this red underline. Every time you are doing anything, it's compiling. Compiling means it's checking that do you have any error here? Do you have any issue here? Every time you're doing that, it's compiling. If you remember, we use that term when we're trying to understand the JDK. So with JDK, we call that as JDK compiler and interpreter. So JDK is compiling this one, that do you have any issue here or not? If you have an issue, it's showing you that red underline. And then when you are right, when everything is right and there is no issue, and if you're running it, then what it's doing in background is it's interpreting your whatever you have written here for the machine in the machine language, and then it's sending it to the machine. Machine is doing some operation, and then it's sending back the answer, and it's showing you here in the console. This is how this JDK works.
I do see that when you put your cursor, it not only tells you what mistake you made, it's also giving you option to quick fix.
Suggestions, yes, suggestions to fix.
So you can do that also instead of doing it manually. You can click on it and then quick fix. It will fix it
Yes,
for you.
yes,
Yeah.
do that.
Okay.
Let
Okay.
me do that here. So now if I keep my cursor here, first of all, in line number 19, it says that rename number 1, because you see this, if I click on that, it's giving me something else, right? It's adding,
Oh, that okay.
and now here in number 3, I don't have any number 3s. In my class, I don't have any number 3. Am I right?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't declare this number 3. So if I keep my cursor here, it says that create local variable, something like that, change to number 1, is suggesting me what I can do here. So if
So
I click,
you can also click one of these and you should be fine, right?
you see that here? It's creating this one, number
Oh,
3.
I see.
Now
Mm-hmm.
again got an error. It says that you created this number 1. Now it says that initialize. So there is another term that I will explain that in the next session. So what is about this one? Okay, but for now, whatever we did here is fine for now.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so I believe you don't have any question, and we are almost done. So the thing you did here for the integer and for the double, do some practice on the integer and double, and do one practice on the string. What you need to do, you have to add your first name and last name, and make sure that you have a space between your first name and last name. So this is your task. Okay, add your first name and last name, and you don't need to email me. You can just send that the code next in the next session before starting the class. Okay, I will check that. So add your first name and last name. That's it, and make sure you have a space between your names. Okay, so this is your task. Yes, I can scroll up. Here, you mean this part or the integer part? Okay, you mean this part. Okay, so you got the task, right? Do you have any question on the task? So if you don't have any question on the task, so you have to, you can do that. If you make any mistake or if you are not able to do that, complete that, which is fine. I will show you in the next session, but try it. Even though you will make mistake, then it will help you to understand why you are making this mistake, and then in the next time you will not make this mistake. Okay, so do that one, and also we have this plus sign. Similarly, we have something like plus is for addition, minus for subtraction, this asterisk sign is for the multiplication, this is for division. Try to use these other three signs between the numbers. Okay, just do some practice. It's not like your homework. It's on you. It's up to you that if you want to do some practice, you can do that. Okay, so do you have any question for me?
No, I think I'm good. I need to just do a little bit more practice.
Okay, yeah, you need a lot of practice. So programming is something like you have to do a lot of practice, but if you don't have enough time, I would say still like spend like an hour at least daily. An hour is fine. Okay, so if you don't have any question, we are done for today. And if you have any issue that you want to talk as like a parking lot after this session, you can stay, or it's up to you. If you want to leave, you can leave. See you on Thursday. And don't forget this, let me share this in the chat box because everyone is still here, so they can just check this out. This is the requirement that you have to fulfill by the next session. Okay, thank you all. Thank you for joining, and see you on Thursday. Thank you. Okay, so I can make you the presenter. You can share your screen now. I can't hear you. So the thing is, okay, so the reason you are getting error here, first of all, in line number 21, you have a typing mistake. The thing is highlighted. It should be NUMBR, NU. Okay, so and for that, you don't need line number 20. So you can delete line number 20. So that is something extra. Yeah, you're good to go. Yes, thank you, Nashita. See you on Thursday. Oh, she's already left. Walaikum assalam, Monique. So see you on Thursday. Beauty, thank you. Thank you all. Okay. Walaikum assalam.